All right, Israel, we got to start. Shh, silence. Maestro. Shalom. Nah, I was just saying it in general. See somebody's at the door.
Conference recording started.
All right, Israel. Most High Christ bless our body. All right, Israel. So,
I know we got it.
I think so.
Good.
Yeah. So open up to 2 Timothy chapter 2. Second Timothy chapter 2. So Israel, we're going to touch on a topic that's Shalom out. I think obviously that's well needed. And 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 22. Read that.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 22. Flee also youthful lust.
Right. See what it says? Youthful. Y'all put your eyeballs on it. See the word flee? The thing that we're going to discuss today is going to tell you that you need to run from it, because it's a what? It's a youth for lust. Okay. A lot of single brothers and sisters are having issues and problems with the lust of the flesh, with pleasuring themselves, which is against the scriptures. And the Lord is letting us know that it's called a youthful lust, meaning it's things that the youth will not being educated and not understanding the will, they'll get into. But that's not supposed to be the mature brothers and sisters. That's not of an adult nature. Okay. So it says flee. That means run. Okay? Run from that situation. That's a youthful lust. The youth do that. And all adults can flash back, can go back in the past when they themselves was in their youth, and they had to struggle with that. I've been hearing reports of it, and you can't fix and solve everything, man. And today I ran across a post to where some woman with her last name Israel, she said she feels like she wants to touch herself. And I'm like, but this is madness. This is madness. From that point of view, we got to pick and choose our battles. We got to pick and choose the fights that we fight, because most of the time you end up in these situations based upon what? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. Let's get that one. Let's go to 1 John. First John 2, and let's start at verse 14.
This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 14.
All right.
I have written unto you, fathers.
Meaning the heads. Because everything's supposed to drip down into the body, into the houses, from the heads. Go ahead.
Because ye have known him that is from the beginning.
Right, because we had known the Most High. Okay, and everybody's supposed to learn from the head. You're supposed to learn from the head. You're supposed to learn from the fathers. Good evening. Okay. Go ahead.
I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong.
Right, because you're strong. At least you're being taught to be strong, because you have learned from the fathers. Go ahead.
And the word of God abided in you.
Right, so now do the word of the Most High abide in you? It's supposed to stay inside of you. It's supposed to tell you what to do as a young man. And according to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 22, it says that you're supposed to flee the youthful lust, that type of behavior. Go ahead.
And ye have overcome the wicked one.
Right, and you have overcome the wicked one. Okay? The wicked one in this scenario, on this situation, is, let's just call it peer pressure. Because the spirit, remember my post I made yesterday on how the spirit in this world is so strong that it does what? It makes people deny the truth. The spirit in this world is so strong. A person could be telling you the truth, and you don't want to hear the truth. You'll just go flat out in denial. So the wicked one in this scenario, let's just call it peer pressure. Okay, oppression. But it's going to go into the world. It's going to go into anything that waters down the fear of the Lord and his ways. That is the wicked one right there. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Love not the world.
Right, see it? Love not the world. Because what are the things that are in the world? It's going to give you a description that we're not supposed to love. So if we're not supposed to love it, this Bible is telling you that you could fall in what with it? You could fall in love with it. Yeah, you could fall in love with it. You can go head over heels over this thing. And when people fall in love with something, they invest their life in it. They invest their future in it. That's all they want. But the Lord said, love not the world. You see it? Love not the world. So now, if we're dealing with the youthful lust to the point to where we're touching ourselves, I'm talking about the underprivileged. Because the Most High at this point in time have not rewarded you the reward or the gift. So you fall underprivileged. Underprivileged, and also you underage. Because you got the youth doing it too. Babies doing it. Great wickedness. Okay? Trying to pleasure yourself. It's off. You can't do it. The Lord said, flee. Flee that. And don't love the world. Don't love the things, man, that you see. Because the things that you see, you're going to carry those images inside of your head. You're going to carry those images inside of your head, and what you think those images going to do. Those images going to be inside of your head, man, and it's going to sear. It's going to burn like a hot iron. Your conscience. And that's the world that the Lord said, no, don't love that world. Everything that you do is building upon the mental destruction and decapitation of the truth. The truth's supposed to be what? The head. So, but if you let this world and its images and its ideologies, and you let this world come in, what is it gonna do? It's gonna cut you off. Hey, Shalom. It's gonna cut you off. It's gonna take you away from the truth. All right. So it says, love not the world. Go ahead.
Neither the things that are in the world.
Neither the things that are in this world. So if something is going to cause you to, if it's something that's against the scriptures, let's say that. You got television shows, it's against the scriptures. You don't know, some of you don't know how to watch the vision. You don't know how to watch the vision. You know, before movie screens and televisions, they always did skits and they always did plays. When television first got introduced to the citizens, that's how they introduced it. You just saw people on the stage, and they was playing it out and stuff like that. Things change so fast. So you know how the cell phones change so fast. I mean, just a few months ago, I bought a cell phone. I thought that this is the deal. This is the top of the line. The month later, they dropped 3 more. You understand? So time evolves that fast. So it's not that, I'm speaking like I was back during the dinosaur era. It was just that, I mean, over, 20, 30 years, time blew past so much. You know what I'm saying? This thing ain't as old. Television is not as old as y'all think it is. So, it's to show you all the little stuff that they was, they used to do. And it was acting on the stage. So, when you're watching television, it's telling a vision. That's what it is. It's telling a vision. But it's telling a vision of the producers. Now they have free range. The sky's the limit. They can do whatever they want to do. And those visions are destroying the mindset of the Israelites. That's, we're going to get into it, but I'm going to where one of the sources, one of the main sources, it's called mainstream media. So I'm going to one of the sources to where it's a huge stumbling block to the point to where it's got Israel doing it. It's stuff that you see on the vision. Do you understand that? That's where it's coming from. That is what the Lord is saying, that you got to have power over your spirit and power over your mind to what? Change the channel. Especially those brothers and sisters that are single. You're single and you sitting up there and you watching what they call sex appeal. How do you think your mind gonna process that? You gonna foreplay. You gonna imagine that, right? You're gonna imagine, you're gonna role play, not foreplay. You're gonna role play. You're gonna put yourself in that position. It doesn't matter. A lot of times it won't even matter how the person look. It's just the action. You will be imagining yourself, and the Most High knows it. let's get hold everything. Let's get Matthew chapter 5 and 28.
This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28.
So we'll give them a moment. Matthew 5 and 28.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman...
Right, where's the women at? They're on television. They're on division. Where are the men at? They're on division. Whosoever looketh, how do you see with your eyes? What are you seeing? You're seeing the vision that the producers are creating. It used to be contained and with Showtime, Cinemax. Those were the channels, Showtime and Cinemax on cable. It used to be Shalom Judah. It used to be contained. It wasn't. You couldn't see it on any and every television. You understand? It's always been white supremacy, but they used to just, have family orientated brainwashing, with Leave It to Beaver and all of that. All of the white shows and stuff like that. But then cable television took over. And once cable television took over, and they go off ratings and they go off viewers and stuff like that. And once cable television took over, it was, Showtime, Cinemax, and then HBO, and they like, well, hey man, y'all ain't gonna be the only ones that's getting all the viewers. So then everybody, they just start showing skin. They start integrating. Then you got millionaires trying to keep their millions up. So then now they start producing movies and stuff like that. Then they start producing things that people like to see. Love scenes versus start off with a love scene, and it just, it's worse and worse. But what does that do? It promotes lust. It promotes the lust. And what did Christ say? Read it again.
This is Matthew 5 and 28. But I say unto you.
But I say unto you. So now who is Christ talking to? He's talking to all Israel. Hear, O Israel. But who's going to listen? The elect. So if you consider yourself the elect, then you really need to be opening your eyes and opening your ears up. Because he's speaking. And the Most High said, this man, we need to listen to more than anybody. Go ahead.
That whoso looketh on a woman to lust after her, have committed adultery with her already in his heart.
So that's a level that you would have to grow to where you can see a situation and it doesn't throw you into lust. A married couple should be able to look at a love scene and it doesn't throw them into lust. That doesn't throw them into a situation to where they desire to touch the person that's doing it in there, or want to be kissed by the person, or want to instantly be held. When I look at TV, I don't see that. That doesn't make me. I'm married. That don't even make me want to just get down with my wife. I'm sitting there looking at TV, and then all of a sudden, the scene, the couple, they go to the house, and then they end up at the house, and then they start kissing. That doesn't make me want to kiss. They go to bed. That doesn't make me want to go to bed. But I'm not young no more. I've got past that stage. I understand that thing. And I'm not the type of person that's easily aroused as when in youth. So while you in youth, you can't do the same thing that I can do. And you have to understand that. Or you can't do the same thing that other brothers that are matured and gotten over that and through that can do. That's why it's called, it ain't for you. You don't look. You don't see this. Because it's going to destroy you. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you feel some type of way. Me, it ain't going to make me feel no type of way. I'm waiting for him to get the hell up out of there so they can go to the next scene so I can continue this little thing that I'm trying to see. I'm looking for the plot for the thing. Yeah. I'm not worried about what they did. But you being young, not married, underage, that's the only thing you're thinking about. Give you an example. In high school, I had a good friend. His name was Eric. And it used to be a saying remember the saying about cable? Everybody ain't able to what? To afford cable. That was a saying. For real. Everybody ain't able to afford cable. And that's true. That was true. Well, my friend Eric had cable. So, can't think of what, let me try and guess what grade we was in. We might have been 8th or 9th grade. So I walked 3 miles to his house. Yeah, he stayed in Jenny's. Y'all know where my mom stayed. So I walked 3 miles to his house. And we was just hanging out. So we're watching TV and this movie comes on. I can't think of the name of it. But this movie come on and this couple starts making out on an island under a waterfall. That was the 8th grade. Why do I still remember that? They got it in. This is on cable television. That was in my mind as a child from seeing that forever. So now you got to pick and choose what you want to do with the information. How do you want to process that? As an adult, I understand now I don't want no parts of trying to let my mind process certain things like the flesh, skin, pornography. I don't want to see it because I understand it don't go away so easy, do it? It don't go away. The things that you see and the stuff that you hear will be in your mind because you cannot undo the fact that you heard it and that you saw it. This creates the problems. But you got to be strong enough as an individual to just say no. Most of you act like you need somebody to supervise you, to hold your hand, to slap the remote out your hand, to change the channel for you. You hurting yourself. On the adults, my brothers and beloved brothers and sisters, you be burning every day, all day. Want me to tell you why? Because it's the world that you walk into. It's not kicking your front door in. It's not kicking your bedroom in. Shalom. You walk into that room, into that door, into that zone. They call it Pandora's box. You walk into that. So now if you want mental peace and you want mental stability, first of all, you got to stop looking. Stop looking for it. Oh, I'm searching for it. You got to stop. And when you see it, you got to start backpedaling. You got to be like, oh, you got to flee. Because it's the curious, it's the youth that's full of curious. Are you young? You adults out there, are you young? Why are you acting like you're young? If you can't handle it, then don't watch it. You know, every man know the plague of his or her own heart. Don't y'all? You know what's good for you and what's not good for you. Go to Ecclesiasticus. About the appetite. 18. in verse 30.
This Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust.
Go not after thy lust. Hold up. Get her mind an opportunity to process it. See, it's written in the scriptures. Go not after thy lust. Some of you don't really realize that you're going to be committing an act of adultery and fornication. Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and 30. Go not after thy lust.
Go not after thy lust. Meaning the lust, the desire, the world, don't follow after it. Go ahead.
But refrain thyself from thine appetites.
But refrain. You know what a refrain is? That means that we're supposed to keep ourselves from what? From our appetites. From our appetites. Now, we know that we like it a certain way. Our eyes. It's called eye candy. This looks good. So, some things, they do seem interesting unto us. But what did the Lord say? Refrain yourself. Did it say the elders got to refrain you? Some of you think, well, I'm going to mess up and call the elder. Why don't you not mess up? Then that way you don't have to make that call. I'm going to mess up and call a sister or call a brother. Why don't you refrain yourself? What does that word say? Begin with an R, Israel. I can't hear y'all.
Refrain.
Refrain. Refrain. If you don't know what that means in here, raise your hand. I ain't talking about the little babies. Refrain, for you little baby, that means no. It means keep yourself from. Keep yourself from. That means stop. No, when you're going to go into the street and you're like, I can't go into the street. You refrain yourself because cars are going to come, right? A Mack truck is going to hit you. That's what's going to hit them. The Mack truck is going to hit them in their head. Bam! They're going to wonder why I got problems. Why I got problems? Why I got problems? And you know what that problem going to be like? Going to be? I'm lonely. I ain't got a man. I ain't got a woman. Are you serving God because you need a man? Are you serving the Most High because you need a woman? You should serve the Most High because He's right. His way is right. His way is righteous. And you're trying to learn how to be a righteous, a better person, a decent person. That's why you want to serve the Most High first and foremost, and hope that He say, you know what? You are a good candidate for immortality and eternal life. When He see that you like that, the next thing He gonna do is then give you somebody. Go to the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. He already know that. Let's not forget, what was that? 18. We'll go back and finish that. Genesis 2 and verse 18.
This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone.
You see that? The Most High said that. It is not good that man should be alone. So don't He know us when we are alone? Don't He know we are alone, Israel? Yeah, He do. He also know how old we are, don't He? Huh? He also know when you're not ready, right? Right. 16, 17, 18, you're not ready. 19, 20, you're not ready. 21, 22, you're not ready. I want to keep on going, but y'all forcing yourself to be ready. 23, 24, you're not ready. You're not ready. 25, 26, you're not ready, because you know what? You're ready to get, when you get that age and you get into it, you realize that it's real. And you realize that I gotta put up with you. Can I marry somebody else? Can I be with somebody else? You know how many times I hear that? A week. And I know, yes. And my beloved out there, I know y'all he talking about me. I'm talking about everybody. You ain't the only person. The scripture say, ain't no temptation taking you but such as common the weak. Common the weak. Common the man. Common the man. Yeah, man. Israel fighting left and right. How old you? 27. Not ready. You ain't had yourself. You ain't gave your life an opportunity to grow, see things, get to know people. Out of millions of people on the face of the earth, you like, he the one. He the one to do what? For you to spread for? He is not the one, baby. He is not the one. You just want him to be the one. Oh, he said this. How many sisters, you don't have to announce yourself, but how many sisters being told by him he the one, and then next thing you know, 2 years later, he ain't the one. I thought he was the one. I was wrong. That happens so much. That shows that we don't be ready. Let the Most High see us. And let the Most High prepare this person for you. He already knows that it's not good for us to be alone. He knows that. Read the next part.
I will make him an help meet for him.
You know what? I will make him a help. What you know what that says? Meat. But what does that meat mean? Equal. Yeah, equal. I'm going to make him someone that's what? Like him. Say like him.
Like him.
Like him. Yes, I'm going to make him somebody that's just like him. When this was happening, he didn't create a beast for Adam. He created another human for Adam. And he created the human to have Adam's mind. Another sister to have his mind. And the sister was supposed to have his mind just like him. Why are you running around trying to see if y'all fit? If the affectional part about you fit. Because that's when the lust of the eye. We're gonna hold that. And now let's go back to 1 John chapter 2. Verse 16.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes.
And the lust of the eyes. That's Israel. That's what we be trying to see if that's going to fit. The lust of the eyes. We're not concerned when we're watching TV and that's going to stir our mind up. The scriptures say when lust is, every man is drawn away and tempted of his own lust. So radio, TV, magazine, you drawn away to the lust of the flesh. And when you're drawn away to the lust of the flesh, it causes the lust of the eyes. Most of you don't realize that you toying with that. What you think gonna happen? You're gonna be drawn away. You're gonna end up doing it, man. Because it's only so many times you're gonna masturbate. Only so many times you're going to play that thing out by yourself. And you sitting up there looking at those images on television or in a magazine, whatsoever, you looking at it so much, what you think going to happen? That's the lust of the eyes right there. Does that person have your mind? Nope. You know nothing about them. It's only one thing that y'all have in common. That's an action. That's not how you choose. The Lord said this person that he chooses for you is going to be meat for you. They're going to be after, if you're a man, they're going to be after your mind. And if you're a woman, the Most High is going to give you somebody to say, I want you to follow his mindset. He gonna lead you to be. That's how the Most High feels about it. The word is pure. And that's the reason why we're trying to get this word in us. Because this word will do what? Cleanse us and redirect us and hopefully teach us and help us to make what? A different decision. That's what's in this world, the lust of the eyes, Israel. That's not love. That's not proper. That's not the correct way to go about things. It's making you unclean. It's distorting. It's taking you away and off of the path. Okay, go back to Matthew chapter 5 and 28. It's turning you into an adulterer and an adulteress spiritually, and it's going to make you do it physically. It's going to force you to do it.
This is Matthew 5 and 28. But I say unto you.
But I say unto you, meaning Christ is telling you through the Spirit of God, the Most High. Go ahead.
That whosoever looketh on a woman.
Right, you watching TV. Women and men, go ahead.
To lust after her.
Oh, your sisters be like, oh, he's so fine. Look at him. You know, he come in his youth. You don't care nothing about he destroyed his lining. He destroyed his, you don't care nothing about that. He come in, he tall, he chocolate. Sisters, I like a chocolate man. You don't care. All your religious values just went out the door. All your spirituality is just floated away. Because look how dangerous this deal is, man. Look how dangerous. Look how dangerous this is. How did the Most High say that we supposed to view this thing? Go to Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and 22. So a harlot is a woman and a whoremonger is a man. Ecclesiasticus, so they go both from both 26 and 22. Read that.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 22. And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
As spittle. So when you see that, you know what he's trying to do. He's trying to come in and he's trying to entice what? The women. The men is using him. The producers are using him. Right? Go to Joel the 2nd chapter. He's being used. Joel chapter 2. Or is it Joel 3? Joel 3 and verse 3. Check this out. Hollywood is using them. Give him a chance to get it. Y'all share the video. Hollywood is using them. He comes out. How tall is he? We make him average. We make him 6'1". He's 6'1". Chocolate, low haircut, beard.
This is Joel chapter 3.
No shirt on. He's working out 5 times a week. Hollywood pays him. So when you make thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or thousands of dollars like that, you ain't doing that type of grunt work that we're putting up with. You can get up in the morning time, eat your piece of milk, drink you some juice. You can head to the gym. Because rehearsal, you getting paid for rehearsal. You got a signing bonus. You got a check. So how you think that everybody on TV, most of the 90 in the high 90 percentile, they look good, physically fit in everything, and then they got the devil behind them, spraying them with luminaire. They spray their hair, they spray their face. So by the time the camera hit them in the right lighting, they look perfect. Got you lusting over them. So he shows up, no shirt on, 6'1", chocolate. Sister's like, He's fine. He looks good. He's this and he's that. The Lord said that a harlot or a whoremonger is supposed to be counted as spittle. You mean you're supposed to see that, okay, brother, they tricking you out. They turning you out. They got you doing that. Now let's read Joel. See where they did this to us. Joel chapter 3 and verse 3.
This is Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot,
and made the men play whores. That's what the nations do to us. Y'all see it? It's written right here. So a harlot, even a man can be a harlot. A harlot, you're supposed to count him as spittle. So when you're watching TV, when you're watching television, when you're watching The Vision, and you see people doing that, this is the mindset that you're supposed to be in. You're not supposed to be like, oh, that looks good. Oh, he fine. Because then what are you imagining this person doing to you? Sisters, what are the sisters imagine this dude doing? Putting his muscles on you. Touching you, grabbing you, holding you. And then once that show is over and those images of this man is still into your mind, what happens when you are left alone? That's when the spirits come in. The spirit is entered into your mind, and now you feel that you have the need to touch yourself. And that's going off right there. It could have been avoided with the scriptures. It could have been avoided with refraining yourself, with knowing the precepts and knowing to correct that situation. That's how I survive. When I see stuff on television, I'm correcting it using the scriptures. It's way off. The way I see things and the way the average brother see things is way off. I'm not seeing how the brother that's wanting to touch himself, or the brother that's looking and he's sizing the woman up. Yo, mommy, you a nice little piece. I'm not saying that. Yo, mommy, you the reason why we went into slavery. Do you think I want to be in slavery? No, the Lord said we're kings and priests to him. That's what I want to be. So to hell with that, with what you doing. No. But we're waiting. We're waiting for the rest of Israel to grow up. We're waiting for you to grow up, young Israel. And these are the steps that it's going to take, young Israel, to grow up. You got to put these things in your mind, and you got to get rid of the other ones. And all the other stuff that you already let in, those are fights that you got to fight. Now, if you continue to let those things in, you're going to lose. The scriptures say, no man that warred entangled himself with the affairs of this world, right? Why? Let's get it. Second Timothy 2 and verse 4.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and verse 4.
Now check it out. Let him get it. I got to move quick. We're gonna remember the other brother that asked us too. So, but you still gonna have to be turning them pages too, brother. You still. Go ahead.
2 Timothy 2 and 4.
What is it? I can't hear you. Yeah. 2 Timothy. Somebody's looking. Yeah, it's on. 2 Timothy 2 and 4. Read.
No man that war.
Right. No man that war. You fighting the fight. See, because listen, all the stuff that you put into your mind, where is it? It's there. This, I want man, woman, or child. I want to see hands on this. Men, women, and child. When Ezra taught Israel, all was attentive. I'm not asking you to say no, I want to see hands. The images that are not to be spoken of, the images and the things that we've experienced in our life not to be spoken of. If you've forgotten some of those things, raise your hand. If you've forgotten some of those things, raise your hand. Did you forget? The path that you've been down, stuff you know you shouldn't have saw. Did you forget those images? No, I don't see any hands. So now, guess what? You got to deal with those images. Even to this day, you got to deal with those things. You like, the problem is we're trying to relive those things. That's the problem. It's like the beauty barbershop. The problem is we're trying to relive those things. No, you can't relive that, man. You got to get rid of that. Everybody understand that? So you got to deal with that. So you don't want to put no fresh stuff into your head, right? You don't want to put nothing fresh because the past has been a war. It's been a battle, right? And it's been unsuccessful. That's why the Father brought us into the truth. Y'all share the video. Tag somebody in it. He brought us into this truth to cleanse us from that. Now cleansing us, why would we go and do it again? What avail your washing? This is not the barbershop, brother. I want your mind. Everybody understand this? Okay. No man that war, 2 Timothy 2:4. Go ahead.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Right. You don't get involved with the affairs of this life. Read.
That he may please him.
Right. Why? I asked that question. Why would we not continue to do it? Israel, young Israel, look at it. Why would we not continue to do it, Obadiah? To please the Most High. That we may please him. Go ahead.
Who had chosen him to be a soldier.
To be a soldier. You ever seen a soldier that didn't fight? So that shows you that man, woman, every man, woman, and child supposed to do what? You're supposed to fight. And not get entangled. You're not supposed to be the one that's looking. You're not gazing, wandering spiritually off. Because the Lord said that that's adultery. Whosoever looketh, you're committing adultery. Because you're actually playing the role out inside of your mind on what this person is doing. And you're doing it with them. And us as men, let me show you how deep this thing goes. Let's get Ecclesiastes 9. It won't let you share. I don't know why not. How could she share this video, Israel? Go to the page. Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 8.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman.
Turn away your eyes. So now, brothers, no share button up. So listen, brothers, the Bible says that the Most High said, turn away your eyes from this beautiful woman. She looks good. How tall is she? 5'8"? Too short? Too tall? Okay, how tall is she then? It's a youngster here. See how we got to reach to you? Go ahead, how tall is she? 5'3"? Damn, bro, you got a midget? How little fat as you got? I'm sorry, sisters. I'm being human. So my sisters out there that are 5'3", don't take it personal. You gonna keep growing. You gonna grow some more. You know, you're gonna be like 5'8", 5'9.5", 5'10". You gonna keep growing. Keep hope alive. This brother's 5'3". Okay, 5'3". Beautiful. She's 5'3" and beautiful. Okay. But the Lord said, turn away your eye from her. Read.
And look not upon another's beauty.
Ding, 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 ding. Right there. What do you think that means, young blood? this one hurt you. What do you think that means? Look not upon another's beauty. Don't be lusting. Don't be lusting. See, that's how you end up in adultery. So if you don't understand that, you were in adultery as we speak. Not literally saying that you looking, but your lifestyle is a lifestyle of adultery, spiritual adultery, with the woman that you look at. Okay? Help them out. Who sees it? You sees it, Dre? It's another man, woman. So when you see her and she looks good, that woman belongs to somebody. But what did you do? You just envisioned yourself with her on your arm, or talking to her, this, that, and the third. And if you're single and you know you're full of adrenaline, you're doing more than just thinking about her being on your arm, man. You're thinking about a full-out date. But it'd be like talk to her on the phone and y'all at the movie and sharing a roller coaster, brother. You go into a whole mindset. What did the Most High say? That woman belongs to somebody else. Okay? So you can't do that. That's why Christ said, you committing adultery with this women, with the women that you're lusting after, because these women are taken. The only way you're gonna know if somebody is single is if you get to know them. And then getting to know them, you gotta know their history, their past. Where you been? What you been doing? Who's been in your life? You don't know if they've been, if the person that they have been with. See, now we're not virgins. The young you children are, but as adults, you virgins, you supposed to remain virgins. The Most High definitely gonna bless you. Oh, He's got a special gift for those that don't introduce themselves to that old sinful, nasty bed. It's nasty. If I could start all over again, I'd be like Zebedee boys, wanting to sit on his left and his right hand, man. Which is not His to give, but we should always want the best, right? Right, I be wanting to do the best that I can. But the youth, us adults, you'll find yourself interested in somebody. You don't know if they had a whoremonger or a whore in their life. What's the consequences? What can the consequences be? Let's say a man, okay? You stumbling over lust. Ecclesiastes 23. You stumbling. You fighting and losing the battle. Ecclesiastes chapter 23 and verse 17. Read that.
This is Ecclesiastes 23 and 17. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
All bread. So sisters, he like me. Y'all sisters, wake up. Rub your eyes. Because you think you're special. No, you're special to the Most High. You're special to me. I'm your teacher, the elder. I'm going to respect you. You're special to the brothers that look at you in purity, but then there are some wolves that are dressed like us in sheep's clothing. And they're going to tell you that there's something special about you, girl. You look good. You love the Most High. Oh, pray. You got a good spirit. You know that you fight in the fight, man. You know that you still got an attitude problem. You know that you still turning aside the vain jangling. You know you still rebellious. You don't keep all the laws. You still struggling. But yet, he fixed his mouth to tell you that there is something good about you. He's lying. All bread is sweet to him. All bread is sweet to him. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. So now, He's a whoremonger. If he's a whoremonger, he's been around. Now he decides to put on brakes. You don't even know if he got anything. He could be carrying infections, diseases in his bloodstream. You know nothing about that. All you see is that book in his hand and those words. You don't know the sufferings of his flesh, the Most High torment. There's no way, if you're going to have diseases, you're going to be sick. But people can mask their sicknesses. They can cover those sicknesses up. Some of them, I would oppose. We don't know enough about one another to just be engaging in them so fast the way that we do. We just jump into it. And we jump into it from our burning sensation that we have because the world introduced us to it. When the Lord told you from the beginning, don't fall in love with that. You're supposed to hate it. So, let's lose this. Timothy, what else were we holding? 1 Timothy 2, go back there. 1 Timothy 2. And Second Timothy 2, I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 22.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 22. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart.
Right. So we're supposed to be following righteousness. What is the righteousness? The righteousness is the way that we're supposed to carry ourselves. Okay? We're supposed to know how to do what? We're supposed to know how to possess our vessel. We'll get that, but let's go to Genesis. Not Genesis, I'm sorry, Leviticus. Leviticus 15. Leviticus 15 and let's start at 16.
This is Leviticus 15 and 16. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening.
So now, the diverse washings that we used to be up under were done away with in Christ. Because now the Father has given us a spirit to behave. And now we're not supposed to intentionally just sin, and now we don't have the means to do these things anyway. But they were done away with in Christ. But I brought us here to show us that even before Christ, if a man's seed left his body, and it wasn't because of he had sexual intercourse with his wife, but the seed left, that it was to be considered unclean. Why is that? When you dream, today we call it wet dream, and that happens to a lot of people. And I don't want you to think, well, it's strange because it happens. All right? But according to the law, that happened because you was thinking about some person that you're not involved with. A high percentage of the time. Somebody that you're not involved with. A stranger, you don't know their face. You can't even draw it if you try to. While in the dream, the person is real, but you can't draw it. It's a stranger. And your spirit gets so involved that it causes your flesh to react. And once your flesh reacts, it relieves itself. And you release seed. So whether you're doing it intentionally through lust, you conscious, you plan out something that you've seen, and then you decide that you're going to go forth and do it. Sometimes you do it, bathe, when it's time for you to shower, when it's time for you to take a bath, or in the midst of the night in your own bed. It's wrong. What they call that a nightfall. No, see, I don't know about that. So Yarel said they call it a nightfall. But back to the precept, if any man see a copulation go out from him, see, he was to wash all his flesh in water and be unclean. That's considered unclean. So you cannot just masturbate or have a wet dream and think that that's fine. The wet dream you can't control. You can start controlling it by watching the stuff that you abstain from watching and things like that. Okay? Verse 17.
And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening.
Right. So do we understand how the Father is saying that was unclean? That was considered unclean. To the Most High, if something is unclean, it's nasty. So remember, the scriptures say darkness is light unto the Lord. So the Most High sees that. Verse 18.
Verse 18. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening.
Right. So now the woman, if she was in the bed, she's in the bed. This ain't talking about they had sex. She's in the bed and the guy is doing what? He's thinking about somebody else. And he relieved himself unconsciously while he's asleep. The Lord said all of that is unclean. It's the same thing with the woman. You can't do it. All right, so we're gonna stop it in that aspect right there. You had something?
Yeah, like Job chapter 31. And this gonna deal with kind of a few aspects of what we're going into and talking about. But it's going to also put the nail on the head pertaining to the eyes, the lust of the eyes, and the thought process. That the looking, verse 1, Job 31 verse 1. Looking is what causes thoughts and dreams. See, if you can master turning away, ruling your spirit, and being disciplined based upon the word of the Most High, single brothers and single in Israel, you can overcome this spirit. This spirit is a very, very possessive spirit. Satan controls the minds of 80% of our nation based upon this spirit of the world. Like we read in 1 John, the lust of the eyes, which is the love of the world, which also brings forth fornication and plagues amongst our nation. So Job 31 and verse 1.
This is Job 31 and 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes.
So this is Job saying he made an agreement with his eyes. So he used the tools and the instructions and the commandments that teaches him how to deal with his eyes. And he made an agreement with his eyes because before he had a problem with his eyes and the things that he desired. See, but now he's saying, I made a covenant, an agreement with my eyes. Keep reading.
Why then should I think upon a maid?
See that? So that's proven. It's putting the two together. I made an agreement with my eyes, so why then should I think? See? So when you looking, it's bringing forth desires, and it's bringing forth lust, and it's also bringing forth what? It's bringing forth thoughts. So he said, why then should I think upon the maid? So if you stop the looking and make the agreement based upon what the scriptures say, then guess what? The thoughts will come under control. You'll be able to gather yourself and tame that spirit, put that spirit away, that evil spirit away. It says, why then should I think upon a maid? So likewise, what the brother bringing out concerning the seed of copulation is just more confirmation. When like brothers and sisters, when you out in the streets, stop lusting, stop desiring, stop gazing, stop looking upon others' beauty, because what's happening is you're planting a seed in your mind. That seed is staying. The silhouette of a woman, the shape of a man, all those things are being embedded in your mind like cereal with that iron. To where now you have just opened up Pandora's box. You have just created a battle for yourself that's hard to get rid of. All right? Read verse 2.
For what portion of God is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high?
So the scripture is pretty much letting us know that there is no portion from God from above. This is a question. So to think upon a woman that's not yours, or to start that, cause that battle for yourself, nothing comes from it but fornication. Nothing comes from it but judgment. Nothing comes from it but plagues. You know, nothing comes from it but hardship. Spilling like spilling seed in your dreams, or even touching, going off into pulling on yourself, or women touching on themselves. It's all an unclean and it's a plagueful spirit that will destroy you. It will consume you. So it says, for what portion of God is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Verse 3.
Is not destruction to the wicked?
So that's the answer. Not only is it wicked, it's wicked. So the brother and sister, or brothers and sisters that's giving themselves over to that, the Most High is calling you wicked. And the judgment behind it is telling you that you're destroying yourself. Because like the brother said earlier, it's very hard to get rid of it. It's very hard to get rid of it. Me, myself, I was once a single man in the truth. So I understand. And I know what looking brings about. See? So I know that it's very hard to get rid of. The lust of the eyes it'll bring forth destruction. And The last part.
And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity.
See that? Strange punishments. You know, the brother gave an example earlier, like you'll be wondering, like what's going on with me? How come I can't get right? How come I can't get things right? How come I can't get things together? Why can't I overcome this thing? Why can't I tame this battle? Because you created the battle, and now it's controlling you and not you controlling it. So that's it.
All right. Can you fast for that type of spirit? Of course. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you should fast for that. If you can't stop or you haven't been able to have success, yeah, you should. And like what the brother was bringing out, that's a spirit that comes upon our people. Okay, that's a spirit that comes upon our people that they got it. We got to shake. All right. So, was we holding? Was he holding anything?
Reason 2 Timothy 2.
Any questions before we move on? All right. First Thessalonians 4. First Thessalonians 4 and verse 1.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 1. Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahushua, that as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please God, so ye would abound more and more.
Right, so we exhorting you by Hamashiach Yahushua that as you received of us. What are we telling y'all to do? Abstain from what? Worldly lust that war against your soul. Right? We're telling y'all that, right? Right. It says how you ought to walk and to please the Most High. Yeah, it's a long, hard road for single brothers, single sisters. It's a long, hard road. But I can testify that the Most High is faithful. He's faithful, the Most High is just, and He's going to give every brother and every sister according to their works. Y'all understand me? I have to say this quite often. If you a wretched brother, meaning indeed, say for instance you a lip server. What is a lip server? A lip server is somebody that serves the Most High with all their mouth, but their heart is far from them. What type of person you gonna end up with? You're gonna end up with somebody just like you that don't give a damn about the Most High and His commandments, because you had to go outside of the truth. You had to go outside of the truth to get that person, because inside of the truth, what are we telling you to do? We're telling you to walk and please the Most High. But you're not happy, because pleasing the Most High is saying, wait. I'm sitting here and I know that you're remembering the words that I'm saying to you, because it's of the Spirit. I'd be surprised sometimes when I talk to brothers and sisters and they'll just recite what I said to them. Yeah, because in the class you had said this.
Yeah.
And they'll take that one part, and that part is just so much in their mind. It's in their mind. And I'd be like, okay, you got that out of that? Yeah. But that one part is something that's correcting them. And they like, this kind of like gave me a flat tire. So what am I supposed to do? Supposed to, brother, you supposed to put air in the tire and keep it moving. You supposed to do it. I gotta do that. Yeah, brother, you gotta do it. So now I'm sitting there telling you 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Brother, like keep going. 26, 20. You're not ready. So that's gonna be into the minds of you brothers and sisters, to where you're gonna be like, damn, he said I'm not ready. And when you begin, because you heard it and you trust my judgment, it's your judgment that you don't trust. But you gotta trust you trust the judgment that I'm coming, because I'm coming out the scriptures. And most of you have been around and sitting in the classes long enough to prove and say, you know what? I find that brother to be faithful in the Lord. So I trust that. But in trusting that, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to give up on the Most High. You're not supposed to give up and say, well, I've been putting in this word and putting in this word. The Most High is taking so long. And He's taking so long that you counting your weeks, and you counting your months, and you counting your years. And now all of a sudden you say, I got to give in. No, you don't give in, because what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to walk like we're telling you to walk. Because this life is about sacrificing. You're supposed to sacrifice the thought. I've even had people be angry and get upset and be like, well, I guess it's just not meant for me to be with anybody. I can hear that. And I'm like, I heard that. The Lord, from your mouth to the ears of the Lord, don't feel like that. Oh, it's not, well, it's just not meant for me to be with nobody then. So since you can't go and put yourself in the position to where you can pleasure yourself, it's just not meant, huh? No, don't feel like that. I got to talk them down off a ledge. No, don't feel like that. What did the Most High say to do? Ecclesiastes 2. Yeah, refrain, but Ecclesiastes 2. And don't lose Thessalonians. Ecclesiastes 2 and 4.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee.
Right. What? It doesn't matter. Whatsoever. Whatsoever. What is brought upon you? Solitary. A cold bed. He took the piece of man that you had away. He was good for one thing. He wasn't good for nothing else, but he was good for that one thing. He took the piece of woman away. The piece of woman away. And for you youth, the Most High put the clamp down. He put the clamp down. Now the people that are over you are supervising you like never before. Saying, no, whatsoever is brought upon thee, go ahead.
Take cheerfully.
The scriptures say take cheerfully. Now how do we take that cheerfully? What does that mean, to take cheerfully? Obadiah? Whatsoever is brought upon thee. The situation that you in, you somebody, you don't have a woman. How you gonna tell you to take that cheerfully? You don't have a woman. You see brothers with their wives, you see the young brothers with their woman, and they all color coordinated with the garment and the dress on, and he fly and she looking cute. How do you take that cheerfully? What is the definition of that? You sisters, you ain't young. You see this sister, she got children and her man and her husband. How do you take that cheerfully? How are you supposed to digest that? What does that mean, take cheerfully? The Lord, is he nuts? I wouldn't say that. Far from it. Far from it. You definitely ain't going to be like, oh, yes, I'm single. I'm alone. It's saying be positive, optimistic. Be positive, Israel. That's what that means. Always remain on the positive. Always bet on the Most High. Be positive. That's what that means. Okay? Read it again.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Right. And be what? Positive. All right. Why is that? Because remember Hebrews 6? Get that. And hold this, because we got to come back and finish this. Hebrews 6 and 10. We're going to read this one together. Because I know you brothers and sisters are struggling, suffocating, hurting. The Most High, you hurting. Brothers and sisters are hurting. Hebrews 6 and 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3. For God is not unrighteous to forget your love and labor of love, which ye have showed towards his name, in that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. Right. So the ministration that you're given is what? Is an example. Is an example. So you're suffering, leaving an example for other people to do what? Follow. Say follow. Follow. That's right. You're suffering, leaving an example for other people to follow. Because they know the brothers and sisters in the congregation that don't have nobody. And they looking at you. Boy, you better not make no mistake, because they're going to be like, well, what's going on? If you go out and you do and you get you, so they're going to be like, how he get to do that? How he get to do that? Or you show up with some strange person, they're going to be like, where this person come from? Or sisters. You know, sisters, other sisters, see, how she get to do that? They're going to be, they looking, but see, you don't get to do that. No, you don't. You don't get to do that. You got to always remember that the Father is not unrighteous to forget your work of love, your work of labor of love. You love him. And you love your people, and you love what's right. And you showing it towards other people. Because there's an order, there's a way, there's a decency and a dignity behind everything that you're doing. And everything that you're going through, you got to learn to be positive. That's why it says be patient. Okay? I said already. Let's go back. Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 3. And this is like to go with being patient. It's a reward for being patient. And this is it's for brothers, but it's also for sisters too. So it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 14. It says, "Blessed is the eunuch." Now, a eunuch is a man that chooses to never have sex. He never has a wife. But he's solely devoted himself to the work of the Lord, because we dealing with that. The Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. So this eunuch, he don't have a wife, neither has he ever dealt with a woman. It says, which with his hands have wrought no iniquity. So now take this eunuch and the class that we're dealing with, about the lust, about the touching. So this eunuch, he ain't done none of that. He ain't touching himself. He ain't falling into that spirit of lust, but he holding his integrity. It says, nor imagine wicked things against God. The wicked thing that we're dealing with is the thoughts that cause us to lust. The thoughts that cause us to want to be fornicators. The thoughts that cause us to have premature relationships and to follow after the wickedness that the world has set. It says, for unto him shall be given the special gift of faith. So what would the special gift of faith be, though? Endurance. Yeah. Remember the story of the man that had the lame child. What did Yahushua have the ability to do, but his disciples didn't have the ability to do?
Cast him out.
So he had that special gift of faith, because Yahushua was able to do it by what?
Faith.
Exactly. And then he turned around and taught it and said, this kind goeth not out by what? By what? By faith and fasting. So that special gift of faith, the Most High is seeing a brother or a sister dealing in this fashion, the Most High will give you the spirit to do amazing things amongst Israel that the common or ordinary brother or sister don't have the spirit to do. The Most High don't give them that spirit.
Right, because you're important.
Right. They said, and then for sisters, look at, so this is talking about a brother, and I use the example of Yahushua. What about Mary? Mary, because she was chaste and because she held herself chaste up until the angel had to tell her, you gonna do this. But if the angel wouldn't have said nothing, she would have stayed in that fashion. And the Most High said, thou art blessed and highly favored. And then chose her to give birth to the Savior of Israel. So look at the special gifts that the Most High will give to brothers and sisters that hold themselves in this fashion and not imagine wicked things. You know what I'm saying? Not get caught up in the youthful lust that we're talking about. It says, and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. So instead of being caught up because you burning looking for a spouse or somebody to lay with, the Most High say he'll give you an inheritance in the kingdom, something that you would glory and want more than the carnal affection, because you looking around and seeing all the other brothers and sisters with wives, with spouses, and things like that. The Most High say he'll give you something that's more acceptable to your mind, in a special place in his kingdom. You know, so that was just because like we was dealing with the being positive. This is why you remain positive. This is why you don't look at it like, oh man, you mean I gotta wait? Oh man, well, everybody else got this and got that. Everybody else doing that. Oh, this is a special gift. And then on top of that, when you read 1 Peter 3, why take a gamble with somebody that's going, because you want somebody for a few years on the earth, when the Most High tell you to be patient and he give you the one that you're going to inherit. And then you live with a spouse forever. You know what I'm saying? So, verse 15, it says, for glory is the fruit of good labors.
All right. Yeah. Glory is the fruit of good labor. The glory is the Most High bless that brother or that woman with the person that he want them to have. Glorious is the fruit of good labors. So by enduring, by not being unclean and corrupt, you're going to get the fruit of your labor. and that's the blessing of having a family or having a spouse that's like the brother was saying, that's for a man, he gonna get the woman that's gonna think like him, you know, and then that woman gonna get a man that's gonna stand up, a righteous man in the gates that do the work, and that's obedient to the Most High, and that's going to instruct and teach and be fruitful. So then it says, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. So that person is going to continue to abound. Like we was reading earlier, abound more and more. So just to add to that.
So let's finish it. Verse 16.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 16. As for the children of adultery.
Right, remember. So where does adultery, where does it start at? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. Right, so if you let your eyes cause you to lay down and through lust have sex, then next thing you know, sisters be, I'm pregnant. They be wondering, are you pregnant? You know, brothers be wondering, like, damn, is she pregnant? Did she get pregnant? You know, you committed the act of adultery. Go ahead.
They shall not come to their perfection.
Right, they shall not come to their perfection. So, just because you was in the truth, or you was following the truth, because you was never in the truth. The scriptures say fornication is done outside the body. Israel, that's not in the truth. We got to get that right now in there. 1 Corinthians. Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 18.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 18.
And don't lose Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and 16. Read.
Flee fornication.
Right, so the Lord said we should flee it. Go ahead.
Every sin,
meaning the fornication, the sex, go ahead,
that a man do it is without the body.
See, so you're not in the truth. You're outside of the truth. That's why you can't do that. I'll tell you in a minute that you're not in the truth. Israel hate that. That's not in the truth. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm going to cut you. No, I love you. I'm going to teach you. I got to tell you what's right so that you can see and you can compare truth with lies. The truth is, the Bible says that the Most High saying that if you have sex, you're not in the truth. Plain and simple. You're not in the truth. You outside the body of Christ. Because there's no read.
But he that committed fornication sinned against his own body.
Let's see. What show you not to get? What's that other part? Is you in 15?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Shall I then?
Verse
15.
Verse 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the temple of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot?
Right, so you're going to make the whole truth, the whole movement, wicked. Go ahead.
God forbid.
The Lord said no. He ain't gonna, before he do that, he's just going to render you up. He's going to say, hey, you're in the truth. So fornicators, we're to cast out. Go to the 5th chapter. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 9.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 9. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to keep company with fornicators.
You see that? So the fornicators, you get kicked out. Brothers and sisters repentant, you coming in with that bad habit, you still having sex. Okay. You're going to be warned. You're going to be corrected. Right? It's going to come to a point to where you don't really realize that correction has a number on it. Get Titus 3. I'll show it to you today. Titus chapter 3 and verse 10.
This is Titus chapter 3 and verse 10. Titus chapter 3 and verse 10. A man that is an heretic after the first and second admonition, reject.
Right. Reject. What is a heretic? A heretic, what is a heretic? A heretic is a person. A heresy is the teaching.
Right.
But you being the person, you're trying to establish your way as a teacher. So you're going to end up getting rejected because most of the time, nobody knows about your shenanigans. Nobody knows about your fornication but the Most High. And the Most High reveals it. The Most High revealed it to the elder. And it's my job to say, you know what, brother? You're not changing you're not changing, brother. You're constantly to do this. You gotta go. Because in your mind, that's okay. Trust and believe. I've known brothers that teach fornication as a doctrine. To say, hey, you can sleep with as many women as you want to. You can do what you want to do. That you can't teach that. That's why Paul said not to keep company with a fornicator. So if you know somebody, you're going to give a brother an honest shot because you don't know. But then you get the wind of it. This brother is doing this, he's doing that. The scriptures say after the first and second admonition, reject. Go ahead.
Knowing that he that is such is subverted.
Subverted means what? That brother is turned upside down. Instead of bounding, that brother is going down. He's going downward. He's taking himself to destruction. Do you allow him to take the congregation with him, with his actions? Next thing you know, he'll be sleeping with somebody in the immediate congregation, right under our nose. So you can't have that. A person like that, they have to be brought to judgment. It's not personal or emotional, it's scriptural. And if you don't want that type of judgment to fall upon you, then you better be warned. Go ahead. And sin it.
And sin it.
And sin it. And he sinned it. The Lord said, look, don't you know this person is continuing to sin? Go ahead.
Being condemned of himself.
Who condemned him? The judge? He condemned to who? Himself. He condemned himself. Go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10 and 11. I'll read it. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, extortioners, idolaters, then must you needs be go out of the world. The Most High said, if you don't put that person out, I'm putting you out. It's a spirit associated with everything that we do with everybody. The Most High will then take the spirit away from you. That's why we have to judge according to the scriptures. We have to judge a righteous judgment. All right. Verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man which is called a brother be a fornicator. The last part, the very last line, with such one know not to eat. So should the fornicator be at the feast? No. 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 Everybody see that? So you brothers trying to be slick, you sisters trying to be slick, and y'all trying to do y'all thing, the Most High is going to judge you. The Most High is going to judge you. He's going to judge your ways. All right? So lose that. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 3:16.
Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 16. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection.
Right. They shall not come to... The precept says, be partakers of holy things. This is hard. This is hard. Because in real life, this be brothers that we know. Sometimes you might be building with a brother, or you might be building with your children. And then they give up the spirit. They give up the fight. And then they go forth and they do something like that. And then they expect you to put down the scriptures and deal with emotions. You can't do that. They shall not come to perfection. The Most High ain't gonna allow it. They're gonna run into a brick wall. They might grow. They might participate in this world, buy cars, have a wedding. They might do all type of things, but the Most High is still gonna judge them. And you gotta know that you gotta judge them. Okay? And the seed of go ahead, I'm sorry.
And the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out.
So the judge has got to determine, was that a righteous bed or an unrighteous bed? Right, an unrighteous bed. And to keep and to know and to show you that the Most High is right, you see where it says, they shall not come to perfection. That means that they ain't going to be partakers in holy things. Those children will not be in the truth. They will be wicked as hell. They will not be in the truth. They might be cool as a fool, but they ain't gonna be righteous. That will be confusion upon the Most High. For people that are adulterous to bring forth children, and now the children are righteous. That will go against the scriptures right here. Verse 17.
For though they live long.
It just showing you that they live long. So when they live long, they establish certain things, yada, yada, yada. But though they live long, go ahead.
Yet shall they be nothing regarded.
They shall be nothing regarded. They may be esteemed in this world, but the Most High is not going to pay attention to them. So the Most High is forewarning us. It's not just y'all, it's us. The Most High is forewarning us, Israel, not to go down here and tempt him, because he's saying that he'll forsake our children. He'll forsake our children. Everybody understand that? Because when you do that, when you let that seed out, a seed is meant to grow. The scriptures say be fruitful and multiply. The seed is meant to grow. Right? Anybody ever threw a seed out and didn't want it to grow? Just say, for instance, you eating fruit and you throw the seed. You hope that thing will just ambitiously just grow, don't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. You could be driving down the street and you just throw the seed out. You're like, I wish that would grow. See? So let's see, where we at?
17, last verse.
Go ahead.
And their last age shall be without honor.
In their last age. And that probably would explain a lot of our seniors on why they having the life that they have. The Most High is keeping his word. He did not do away with his word. Our seniors, that's why they having such problems and hard times. In their last age, they don't have any honor. They are broken to pieces. Their lives are so difficult. Their lives are so hard. Those things have to be an example and an incentive to us. And where does it start? It starts with us having the mindset and the power to rule our spirit. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 18. For if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation.
Right. And if they die quickly, they have no hope, no comfort. That's when they deal with the Most High. Everybody thinks that instead of it being rest in peace now, they got R-I-H. Rest in heaven.
Yeah, right.
The Lord said no. He said it right here. He said they have no hope, no comfort in the day of their trial. The precept, I got the precept Bible. Yours don't have precepts that explain to you what that is. Where it says trial, mine says hearing. So if you dead, who gonna give you a hearing? The Most High is, not man. So your case gonna go before the Most High, and in the presence of the Most High in Christ, no hope. No hope or comfort. We can avoid this. Okay? For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. Most High ain't gonna leave this unturned, Israel. Okay? So, Ecclesiastes 2, it was. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and 4. What is the solution? There's a solution. Yeah, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient.
And be patient. That's the answer. Everybody see it? Yeah. So you got to be patient, man. So that this future fate that's going to fall upon the evildoers, it don't fall upon you. You need that mediator? Yeah, we do need the mediator. And the mediator is speaking right now, telling us what we're supposed to do to avoid having no hope. Okay? So we got to be patient. That's the solution. When thou art changed to a lower state. What is the lower state, DeAndre? What is the lower state? When thou art changed to a lower state. From experience. Open up. Open them jaws up. What is the lower state? From your experience, what is the lower state? You single, right? How long you been single, brother? A year? Did your life change? You went from a woman to what? To not having a woman, right? Okay, so we're dealing with lust, masturbation, and all this other type of stuff. Wet dreams. So you don't, you know, at one point in time you had a woman you could at least talk on the phone to, right? Woman's voice on the phone, you know, is lovely. It sounds like music, right? Right. So that changed, right? That, wouldn't you say that that's a lower state? So that's it. From having a woman to not having a woman. So the scriptures say, in that condition, we must be patient. In that condition, we must be patient with the Most High. Because the Most High is preparing us. He's preparing us to be in somebody's life. That's why you're single. If you're a woman, he's preparing for you to be a mind well instructed. See, you going off the flesh. Your flesh is ready. Zoom, boom, boom, boom. Just like you step on a NASCAR. Boom, boom. Your flesh is ready, but your mind ain't. You're not ready to let somebody tell you what to do. Until you ready to let somebody actually tell you what to do. And Genesis, that's a law. As a woman, go there, Genesis 3:16. That's a law. So, in all actuality, we possibly could be holding yourself back. Genesis 3:16.
This is Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
So you understand that? That means, you know, the pain that you have, you go through it, this, that, and the third. The baby come out, it's over. But this next part is for eternity. That's the part that you struggle with. That's the part that the Most High is trying to prepare you for. And that's why a lot of you are single. Go ahead.
And thy desire.
And thy desire. Go ahead.
Shall be to thy husband.
So how long are they supposed to have that desire? Forever? You sure? Anybody else? How long are they supposed to have that desire? How long are they supposed to have that desire? That's forever. Look, y'all, what are you second guessing? What are you thinking about? I'm always trying to trick you. You just know me by now. Forever. See, so the sisters out there, they changing their mind. They happen to change your heart. So the Most High knows you more than you. He knows you, definitely knows you more than the man. He definitely knows you more than your brothers and sisters. And he knows that you will change your mind. And until you put yourself in a way to where you like, hey, through hell and high water, through thick and thin, no matter what, I am going to change my mind. When you get like that, no matter what, I ain't going to change my mind. I'm going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And I'm going to support this man. And I'm going to be a helpmeet to him. I'm going to be do benevolence. I'm going to fight the good fight. I'm going to save him. How are you going to save him? Because guess what? I'm going to be quoting you got to be quoting precepts to him. Yes, it's a drain on your spirit. Yeah, your head hurt. Yes, it's a drain on everything. But you're supposed to be ride or die. And if you ain't got your mind wrapped around that, the Most High ain't going to give you. Because he don't want you to fail. He don't want you to sin against him. So he'll give you the spirit to be without before he puts you with somebody and that be the destruction of you. So you don't want the Most High to give you something that's going to destroy you, even if it's a man. And the same thing with brothers. You don't want to run out of your wits, leave your mind for a woman. So brothers, we got to have the mindset that I'm persuaded. That's what Romans 8 is talking about. No matter what condition or circumstance that I come in, I'm not going to forsake my post. I'm not going to forsake my duty. I'm going to keep the commandments. I don't like the situation, but I'm going to try and fix it. Because the Most High have chosen me to be a good soldier. You understand? We got to teach. Okay? We got to teach. So now, okay, Heads, I see you. So, what was it? Genesis 3:16. And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Go ahead.
And he shall rule over thee.
Right, he shall rule over thee. You got to be prepared to let this man be the ruler in your life. You got to be prepared to be ready to what? Follow instructions without you fighting back. If you fighting back, you're not letting the man do his job. How you got to fight back? How you going to argue back? Why you got words back? That's out of order. You got words back. You talking back. What he said is the deal, especially if it's a man of the Most High. This is a man of God. So God-fearing man, you going to fight him. That's not rule. Y'all trying to rule together then. You rule and he rule. What type is that? That's not even the scriptures. That's against the scriptures right there. Sisters have to break themselves from that, though. Do we send them to the guillotine? Who all in favor of sending all the sisters that, don't understand that to the guillotine? The guillotine is off with the head. Who's in favor of that? Nobody? You sure? Why not? They out of order. They talk too damn much, putting up a fight, causing confusion. Why not? Christ said, those that would not reign over, that I should reign over them, bring them hither before me and slay them. So why not? Because they got to be taught. You sure?
And then add to it.
Talking kind of soft now. I can't hear you. To add to it, you got to be like.
Right. To add to it, 1 Corinthians 12, it talk about like those that are less honorable, we bestow more honor. So we gonna go in and not cut their head off, but we gonna do surgery and we gonna teach them and put them around sisters, elder sisters that got the experience, that been through it, and we gonna teach them and go through the proper channel.
So even though Christ said bring him and slam, guillotine him, he's saying we're gonna teach him. Anybody disagree with him? What? You ain't even married, man. I'm looking for. But go ahead.
I was just saying, because once upon a time, use that person the same way. So it's hoping.
I was never like that. Not me. I love the Lord. Not me. Not me. But you said once upon a time a person was like that. A person was like that. Then it should have been off with their head. It should have been off with their head.
No, because now you in a position to you were teaching, you doing the right thing. So hopefully they can get there too.
There's nobody that wants to take her head off. Right. No, send her to the guillotine. The sister's like, do we supposed to get cut off? No, you're not supposed to get cut off. You got to learn. You got to stop doing what you're doing, though, or the Most High going to destroy you. The scriptures say the axe is laid to the root of the trees.
Right.
Bam. And can't no tree bear the axe.
Sorry.
I was looking at some show the other day, and they was living out like in Alaska or something, and they had an axe, man. They just would hit this tree and that thing fell, man. It fell. Didn't use a power saw, I used the axe and knocked it down in about less than about 5 minutes, probably. With an axe, bro. The scriptures say the axe is laid to the root of the trees, where you growing at. And if it cut your growth off, you're gonna be a goner. But for now, we're gonna exhaust every avenue trying to get you on and keep you on the path. You sisters, every avenue trying to keep you on the path. I was trying to see where the brother's head at, see if they're gonna say, yeah. I already know if you destroy the woman, then you're gonna be wandering up and down without no woman. So it's best to just suffer the affliction of trying to lead and guide her and teach her. If the Most High destroy you, then the Most High destroy you, but don't you do it. Because we don't have that authority to destroy somebody. Okay? So, we're going to wrap it up. Where was we at? We got some stuff we're holding.
1 Thessalonians 4. That's 11.
Did we finish the Wisdom of Solomon 2? Yeah, we finished that. First, huh? What do you? Don't team up with him, man. We got you wrong. 1 Thessalonians 4. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 1, as you have received of us how you ought to walk and to please the Most High so you would abound. So you got to walk and to please the Most High so you would abound more and more. Okay? Verse 2.
For ye know what commandments we gave unto you by the Lord Yahushua.
All right, so this is all talking about instructing Israel away from wickedness. So Yahushua instructed Israel to go away from wickedness. Go ahead.
For this is the will of God.
For this is the will of the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
Even your sanctification.
Meaning for you to be pure and clean. Go ahead.
That ye should abstain from fornication.
You should abstain from touching yourself. Okay, touching others and touching yourselves. You should abstain from it. So it's right there in the scriptures. You don't have a license to imagine, to use your imagination and imagine somebody that you once had a good time with and then blow your flesh. You don't have that to do that. You don't have the authority to do that, a license to do that, permission to do that. So you must know that that is sin. Because what the scriptures say that lust is going to draw you away. And when lust is conceived, it's going to bring forth sin. You will actually do it, Israel, which is forbidden against the scriptures. Everybody understand that? Right. And you adults, we as adults, we all know somebody in our distant past. We all know somebody in our distant past. And if you constantly think about, that person and doing that, all you need is Satan. The scriptures say Satan as a roaring lion. How does a lion praise? A lion would see a deer, a gazelle, or something like that out, and he's already looked like the field. So he would blend in. He'll wait. He'll wait for a long, extended period of time until he gets close. That's how Satan, would you put that away, man, and pay attention? You're not above this. He'll wait and get close. So that's how it is in this world. Okay, that's how it is in this world. Satan you will be sinning. You will be in your lust, in your mind. And then all of a sudden, if it takes a year, 6 months, or 2 years, Satan will get you. And he been stalking you like the lion would stalk the prey in the wild. And you don't know that the thing that you did, it started a few years back. Because you let it in. So this cleansing and sanctification is you're supposed to abstain from that. And then you won't get bit by that sin. Verse 4.
That every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor.
Right, you're supposed to know how to possess yourself. In cleanliness and honorable. You're supposed to have some dignity and respect for yourself. You're not supposed to defile yourself. All right? So now, let's see, what is this here? That is correct. So, Matthew 22. Hezekiah the question, Matthew 22 and 23.
This is Matthew chapter 22 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brothers, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third, unto the 7th. And last of all, the women died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her.
Right. So, but that's not his question. His question is going to be down in 7. So notice, the sister, the Most High made her barren. Why does most time the Most High will make Israel barren? Because he don't want you to have it. He don't want you to have it for what reason? Maybe it's something that you can't handle. Maybe it's wickedness. Maybe it's some form of sins. Okay. So now she went through 7 guys. And she, in her lifetime, lived to go through this whole family trying to bring forth seed, and they all died. When you read in the scriptures and you're dying young like that, you're dying because of sin. The Most High went on and killed her too. So first and foremost, this whole family, Hezekiah, I would take a real hard guess, was wicked as hell. And that's why the Most High killed him like that. 7 brothers in a lifetime to go through one woman. They was going according to that law. But obviously there were some things that the Most High disapproved in. Okay? So now, where did you start at? Verse 29 now? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God.
Right. So you err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. So now he's answering, when you read verse 30, he's answering this question pertaining to this story. Read the next one.
Verse 30. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage.
Right. They neither marry. Who is the they? He's answering the question of the story. Who is the they? You said it, but you're afraid. The brothers. So will you have a necessity to marry your brother's wife? Why? It has nothing to do with that. Because what? I'm going to let y'all answer. Because of what? It ain't because they can't marry. You are not knowing the scriptures. He's saying they.
Or they can't share her.
They can't what?
Share her.
They can't share her. Why? Because it'll be adultery. Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60 and 21.
This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous.
Right. So why did all of those brothers get killed? Yeah, they weren't righteous. All right. Go ahead.
They shall inherit the land forever.
They shall inherit the land for how long? Why will they not marry her? Because the brother is not dead, man.
It's the resurrection.
It's the resurrection. The brother is not dead. The brother is not dead. You understand? In the resurrection. This situation, listen, in the kingdom, these people, if you wicked and you die, you ain't inheriting the kingdom. That's the thing right there. So this situation and all of that right there, they ain't showing up. That's mad confusion. But they want to know in the kingdom, whose wife is she going to be? So Christ is now talking about how things are going to be in the kingdom, and not so much per se them, because that would be mad confusion. Do you understand that? Okay. So now, in the kingdom, they all shall be righteous. So there's no need to be killed by the Most High. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. So you need to make your mind up on what type of person you're going to be today, tonight. Because if you don't change and make your mind up, then you're going to be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And it's going to be horror come judgment time. It ain't going to be no hope. It ain't going to be no comfort come judgment time. They shall inherit the land forever. So a man will never have to raise up seed for his brother because the brother will be alive forever. Okay, read the next part. The branch.
The branch of my
The
planting.
Lord said, this is my doing. The Most High said, this is my doing. Go ahead.
The work of my hands.
Right, the work of my hands. Go ahead.
That I may be glorified.
Right, that he may be glorified. All right, read the next one.
A little one shall become 1,000.
You know what that means? A little one shall become 1,000. If we got eternal life, that means out of the loins of one shall come 1,000 generations. So the woman that's barren is done away with. Okay, you get that, Hez? The woman that's barren, out of one shall come 1,000. It ain't no, she can't have a baby. Go ahead. And a small one.
And a small one, a strong nation.
Right, and a small one, a strong nation, man. Is where we're going to be so deep, said the Lord. Go ahead.
I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
The Most High said he's going to bring it up and out. Okay, so now let's go back to Matthew chapter 22. Verse 30.
Matthew chapter 22 and verse 30. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage.
Right, so they neither marry nor are given in marriage. Okay, that's saying that in that type of situation, you ain't gonna have to give that situation. It's talking about that situation. That situation is not going to exist. Okay, it's not going to. So they ain't gonna be given in marriage in that situation. Go ahead.
But are as the angels of God in heaven.
How are the angels of the Most High? Obedient, right, perfect. Law-abiding, righteous. Okay? So I think that's it. Right. That's it. Okay, you got it? Good. You say you got it. All right, so Matthew 26. Angels don't have sex, right? Angels do have sex. The angels on the earth. Okay? The men in Israel are the angels of the Most High. They just look like men. I just gave you a precept, Nehemiah. And what was that? Isaiah 60? Isaiah 60 and 21 and 22. Okay. So very quickly, this is Hebrews chapter 13. Hebrews chapter 13 and 1.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Go ahead.
For thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
Right, so this is talking about the common person that's learning. It says, hey, man, you have got to be careful to entertain people that you just meet, because you would end up entertaining angels and not know it. What is this referring to? Isaiah 30, where you seeing your teachers. They are angels of the Most High. Angels are not invisible men. Are you going to run into the invisible man? No, these are people that you see. And these people that you see have lineages. They are born from somebody. They have children. They have a wife. You understand? They have jobs. Yeah, this is stuff. This is real. Okay? Bear with me, Israel. I'm looking for something else. No. Sex in the Kingdom. My brother, I was going to give him another precept. What is that? There's so many. What's that? Concerning the woman receiving the children again. Second Maccabees 7. Second Maccabees 7 and see the point? Right. Okay. Second Maccabees 7. And we'll start at 28. So this is the woman that lost her children. Okay, when the Greeks killed them, and it was Antiochus, the Greek king, that killed his sister and her children. Read it.
Second Maccabees chapter 7 and 28. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that God made them of things that were not. And so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
Right. So she's saying that she's going to... she's saying, go ahead and allow this man take thy death. You're going to die. But then she said, I'm going to receive you again. So how is this child going to enter back into the kingdom? This child is going to be born in the kingdom. You can't be born without sex. Okay? Now go to Wisdom of Solomon. Seven in verse 1.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in the common earth, and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature, and the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out.
See that? For all men have one entry into life. And how was that? Of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. That's in verse 2. Okay, so for that woman to receive her children again into the kingdom, they're going to have to come through this right here. They're going to be born into the kingdom. That's sex in the kingdom, brother. So we can stop it with that, but that's the point right there. Okay? Was there anything else? I think that's it. Matthew 26 now. Yeah, well, resurrection, but we still gonna have children in the kingdom. Matthew 26 and 6. Now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box, a very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. When his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this ointment? Did I read that right? Yes, Salakia. But his disciples saw it, had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble you the woman? For she hath wrought the good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her. So all praises to the Most High for giving the sister the spirit to come forth and give Christ some comfort for his burial, and set a beautiful example for us of loving the Most High Christ and giving him some comfort, and setting a broken heart, setting the spirit of a broken and contrite heart, so Israel, we could see that thing. Okay? All right. So, 1 Corinthians 11 and 23. So we're going to throw this in there. Acts, so somebody said, how was Christ born? Acts chapter 13. Mm-hmm.
This is Acts chapter 13.
And start at verse 22. Acts 13 and 22.
Acts 13 and 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. Of this man's seed had God, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior, Yahushua.
Right. So Christ came from Christ is somebody's seed, not a fragment or a thought process. They just appeared inside his system. And you can write these down. Yeah, so Romans 1 and 3. And Acts 2 and 30. Yeah, Acts 2 and 30 and Romans 1 and 3. Romans 1 and 3 says, concerning his son Yahushua Hamashiach, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. Okay. So, 1 Corinthians 11 and 23. For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that Hamashiach Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament of my blood. This do ye as often as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. Okay. So someone asked last week if I can explain the communion, so I got to take the time with it now. So verse 27, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily. Unworthily means you're not worthy of it. Say, for instance, you were, I'll use the scriptures to explain. Go to 2 Timothy 2. Y'all notice for maybe a week or two I've been just reading, going through it. Okay. Somebody called me out on it. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 5. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and 5.
Right.
And if a man also strive for mastery,
Right. You're going for an award. Go ahead.
yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
So you got to strive lawfully. Okay. So if you're taking this and you're not worthy of it, and you're not doing things lawfully, okay, then that's unworthy. Read the next one.
The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruit.
So this is an example. A husbandman is like a farmer. So that means you got a farmer that's growing stuff, but he don't eat it. Wait a second. How do you know your stuff is good and you don't eat it? You gotta eat it. It's like a cook. It's like a cook that will cook but don't eat the food. They don't know how it tastes. You're making spaghetti. You put the paste in there, put some onions in there, a little brown sugar, this sugar, whatever, and you stir it up and you just put it to somebody, give it to somebody. You don't know it's tangy and tart and it tastes crazy. You don't know that. You just... So in other words, we are not worthy to take this communion if we're not living it. Why is that? Because how is your life? Your life is a hot mess. Your life is a hot mess. You must live the gospel. You preach the gospel, you must live the gospel. All right? It says that. Where does it say it?
1 Corinthians 9.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 9. First Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 14.
1 Corinthians 9 and 14. Even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel.
Right. So the stuff that you're saying, you must stand behind it. You might not know as much as I know, or as much as the next person know, but that's okay. But everything that the Most High has given to you, you should well be applying it. You should be doing it. James said, be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourself. Okay? So now let's go back to 1 Corinthians 11. He that eateth and drinketh unworthily. What is unworthily? You're not doing it. You're not doing it. Now that's at 29. 1 Corinthians 11, 29. Eat it and drink it. What? Damnation to himself. It's a spirit with this. So if you are doing the best in everything that the Father has given you to do, and there might be some small stuff, you might really, really be sincere. You in sin and he knows it, but he gonna fix you. He gonna help you out. He gonna give the increase. Somebody plant it, somebody water it, he gonna give the increase. He knows your mental state. He knows your capability. And that's okay. But don't be somebody that he's constantly reproving you, constantly teaching you and telling you what you should be doing, and you turning your ear away from hearing the law. He said your prayer is abomination, and the communion is damnation. You bringing judgment upon yourself, because this represents the body of Christ, and your life, whether it's out in the open or whether it's in secret, is an example of what Christ would do. Remember what I said, whether it's out in the open or whether it's in secret behind closed doors, it's what Christ would do. Say, for instance, you fall in a situation to where it's a shameful situation. The Lord said the chief things in life. What's that? Water, food, and a house to cover your shame. The shame is, I got to talk to my family about this, that, and the third. Now, you at home covering the shame. Is it righteously you dealing with it? Or are you just flat out a Negro? Unlearned, destructive. You dealing with things completely out of order. You supposed to be dealing with it according to the scriptures, even though you shameful to bring it out. You shameful for people to see it. The way that you function inside of the roof and the four walls is between you, your family, and the Most High. But it's still acceptable unto the Most High because you're dealing with it. You don't get no judgment for that. You're dealing with it right. Everything you do, whether it's out in the open or it's in the confinement of your own personal life, must be according to the scriptures. Because this represents the life of Christ. And the experience that you have from doing so is the same experience that you're going to sit down and you're going to instruct another person to do it. You're going to counsel another brother to do it. You'll counsel another sister to do it. You're going to tell somebody else to do it. You're going to tell them to do what you ain't doing. You're going to get judged. Or you're going to tell them to do what you're doing and what you're doing is wrong. You're going to get judged. Because this is time out for the lies, the crookedness, the phoniness, the deception. It's time to quam. It's time to rise. And we can't rise off deception. This represents the truth. No more lies. Okay? So you got to prepare yourself mentally. If you hear, that means you should already be like fully persuaded within yourself that this is something that I want to do. Does it take judgment? What type of judgment do you want to hit you? And the Most High is knocking people left and right, putting them to sleep, knocking their head off, putting them in prison. I see so much judgment, man. It's like I'm tired of it. I'm like, wow. Hey, I'm like, wow. Young people catching spirits, going to jail. Young people catching spirits. You get desperate, next thing you know, you kill somebody. Or you get yourself killed. Wake up, man. You gotta, if you're here for a reason. The Lord is giving you a chance. You don't want to see him. Our foreparents, they was like, no, let me not see that no more. Let me not hear the voice, in other words. They thought that they were going to die. Why? Because they were in sin. 1 Corinthians 11 and 23, 28. But let a man examine himself. So let him eat of their bread and drink of their cup. So that's something that you got to examine. We're gonna just pass it around. And it's up to you to stick your hand in there and take it. You can wave it off. And if you wave it off, that's fine. We teach brothers and sisters, don't you at no shape, form, or fashion look at the other brother or the other sister that waved it off or left it on the table and say anything or think anything about it, because that's what the scriptures say. This one here is on them. They must examine themselves. And they did it, and they chose not to. That's not for you to, oh, he wicked, oh, she wicked, they must be doing something. No. Charity thinking no evil. They have a reason for it, and let them work that out. Then they need to come up the chain of command and start dealing with their problems so that they don't feel convicted on the communion. Because we're supposed to take the communion. This shows the severeness and the seriousness that we're all in. Oh, I'm not thinking about being in the truth. I'm in the truth. I'm not thinking about being a part of it. I'm way in it. I'm a part in it. And you should be like, what can I do to contribute? How can I help? How can I help? Because the scriptures do say in Ephesians 4, every joint supplied. Verse 29, for he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself. And if you just keep on and you ashamed to be like, no, the Most High say he going to judge you. Because that's going to make the people think that you 100. And if you ashamed of not taking the communion, don't not show up to class. Get your life together. If something is so shameful, that means you're supposed to change it. And if you feel convicted about something, that's the proof and evidence that what you're doing ain't right. How do you stop it? Flee from it. Run. Flee from sin as the face of a serpent. Resist the devil and he'll flee from you. That's how you change it, man. Not discerning the Lord's body. That means the congregation. Not caring about the congregation. You're supposed to care about the impression that you set in front of other people. I don't care what they say about me. I don't care what they think about me. You got to care about what people think and say about you because you're teaching them with your actions. You're teaching them to talk like you, to walk like you. The brother from Chicago came down here a few months ago with the Chicago accent, left it on one brother. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait a minute. When you start saying that? The stuff that we say, man, it can be addictive. Your examples, your actions, it can be addictive. You got to be careful. You just think that you can just do anything. You are teaching somebody your actions. And you're going to pay for that. If it's wrong, if it's righteous, you're going to get a crown. The crown of life. You're going to get blessings. I pray that the blessings, that the windows of heaven open up and pour upon you an abundance of blessings. More blessings than it happened to me. That's what I pray for you. But if you're wrong, I pray the Most High stop you in your tracks. Because Israel, we don't need no more bad examples. We are the greatest people on the face of the earth in the worst condition on the face of the earth. That should bother all of us. And although not one single person can completely change it, we should not add to it. Because we are digging ourselves a ditch individually. And if you want to get out of a hole, get rid of the shovel. Many people be like, how can I stop getting in trouble? How can I do this? Stop digging a ditch for yourself. Throw away the shovel. What is the shovel? The sins, the faults, the mistakes. The things that you keep making the provisions for your own flesh. Get rid of that. The food, that's what provision is. Whether it's the lust, whatever it is, get rid of it. Because it's not turning out good for you. You're taking too many chances. Not discerning the Lord's body. You will get charged for it. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. For doing so, the Lord said that person got a weak spirit. What is a weak spirit? Can't get right. You just don't have the power to overcome sin. You faced with sin, you fail. I don't know why I gave in. I don't know why I did this. You taking it lightly. The Most High He gonna bring forth you into judgment for that. Weak, sickly. Some of us, we fall sick, terminally sick. Yeah, we fall terminally sick. Organs fail. Things, all type of sicknesses. I know that we all gonna have some thorns in our flesh to keep us honest. But this is a sickness, man, that's headed towards death. And then he said, many sleep. Not like him, wake him up. But this sleep, you dying at a young age. Or you dying midlife. You secret smokers, stop it. Stop it. I seen my neighbor last time this year, like Sparks. She fell sick that I could see about 4 months ago. She died 2 days ago, man. Every morning I get up, this woman is out planting flowers. At the same time, cigarette in her mouth. She died from cancer. Another thing, there's a family that visited the congregation. I like to call them my extended family, you know, because they still working it out, ironing it out, trying to make their way back into this body. brother and his wife show up with 8 children, 7, 8 children, the end of last year. How many days it's been? 3 now? They're on hard times. They had a little baby. The sister's pregnant now. 1-year-old daughter rolls out of the bed. So he's living in a motel. It's a sad story. 1-year-old baby. So y'all know Nicole. Remember the little baby that she brought here, right? That was in the baby passed away. Rolled off the bed and drowned in the cooler while they slept. Devastated. Why the Most High would bring forth a judgment like that. I've been through the Spirit, been talking to them on a daily basis, trying to keep their spirits up and letting them see the reality of this thing that has happened come from the Most High. So when the dust settles, we're going to have a funeral for this child. And the General Assembly will be doing the eulogy for it. Israel, we play too many games. We take everything for granted. This child was 1 year old. And the Most High took this baby from these people at 1 year old. A drowning while they slept in the comfort of their own room, right next to them. And they didn't even know it was happening. You youth, you better stop playing. You adults, you better stop playing. So now I'm dealing with had to comfort my neighbors next door. Now I got to comfort these people. Death is all around. Sad to tell them that we're all in the same line. We're all in the same line. We don't really realize how devastating it is until that death destroyer knock on your door. But that's another story. That's another class. That's another lesson. The Lord said, many sleep. The Most High will stop you. Before we finish this, there's one more precept that I want. 2 Thessalonians 3. Second Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 1.
This is 2 Thessalonians 3 and 1. Finally, brethren, pray for us, that the word of the Lord may have free course.
Right, so I always be like, hey, pray for us. Pray for me. Pray for us. Pray for the General Assembly. Me and these brothers out here teaching this word in spirit and truth. Pray for us that the word of the Most High may have free course, meaning that it may go and it may not be hindered. Shalom, Brother Kelly. It may not be stopped. Okay, go ahead.
And be glorified.
Right, and be glorified, meaning people understand it. People understand it. Go ahead.
Even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men.
Right. Go ahead.
For all men have not faith.
Right. So for us to be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, even in Israel, what would happen? the Most High just going to give them a mind and let them go and disturb somebody else? The Most High will put them to sleep. Especially those that are coming into this truth and not changing. You're not gonna take your calling and election. You're not gonna take that and sure and you're gonna take it for granted. He's gonna take it away from you. That's what 1 Corinthians 9 is about. A dispensation of the gospel is given unto you. By the way, rockabye baby. The Most High will give you that weak spirit. Give you that weak spirit. Give you that sickly spirit. Put you to sleep. Good night. And it's the ones that walk arrogantly. Those are the ones that the Most High destroy quickly. The mean men are brought down low. Low to the ground, man. He put you in the grave. Go ahead.
Verse 3. But the Lord is faithful, who will establish you.
Right, so you're doing the right thing. He will establish you. Go ahead.
And keep you from evil.
And keep you from evil. You know what that evil is? Those people. So if you don't want that, you to be one of those type of persons that the Most High will take you out of the way, then you got to stop tempting the Most High. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, or the 1st chapter, it says, he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showed himself unto such that do not distrust him. So why a lot of times Israel go off into sin? Because they don't trust the Most High that he gonna do what he say. We've been dealing with the spirit of lust and fornication and ejaculations and masturbations. Why are you doing that? You don't trust that the Most High in the correct time frame, which is your time frame, going to give you somebody. It's not your time. The Father delivers what he wants us to have in his process of time, when he see that we're ready for it. How do you do it? First of all, you have to prepare yourself. All right, so let's go back and finish the communion. 1 Corinthians 11 and 23, not 23, 1 Corinthians 11 and 31. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. How do we judge ourselves? By evaluating the situation, examining ourselves and say, hey, I'm done. Just like that. I'm done. Pray unto the Most High in the name of Yahweh Shai, asking the Most High to give us the spirit to turn away from sin. While everybody around you has been patient with you while you in your sins, ask the Most High to forgive you and give you the spirit, and he'll do it. All right. Verse 32, verse 31, if we would judge ourselves, then you ain't going to be judged. So stop yourself before the judgment happens. Most people end up in the hospital, tubes all in them. And if somebody's in a bad situation, I don't know your situation, it's nothing personal against you. I'm trying to stop brothers and sisters from ending up hurt, tempting the Most High while they're in sin. They got to judge yourself before he judges you. So before you get to that situation, you must afflict yourself. It's only emotions with us. It's our mind. We're not going to actually cut our arm off or cut ourselves or stab ourselves or break ourselves. No man hated his own flesh. You're not going to destroy your own flesh, but the Most High will destroy you. He'll destroy your flesh. If that's what it takes to get your attention, if he needs to pound you. Did y'all read Psalms 38 like I told you? Yeah, he'll destroy your flesh. He'll break your bones. If you humble yourself, if you judge yourself, it's just your mind. It's just your emotions. And then you have other people that's around you to help keep you together. That's why the people that you got to be with, they got to be godly people, God-fearing people. That's going to sorrow with you when you miscarry. Oh, you can't have it your way, huh, brother? Well, listen, you know that's this, and this. this, and this. Nah, brother, you can't have that woman. You know, that's going to be adultery, brother. Nah, you can't put your woman away. Nah, brother, you can't have that car. That's covetousness, brother. You got to take care of your house. Nah, brother, you can't take that. That would be stealing. Nah, brother, you can't do that. That would be lying. Nah, brother, you can't do that. That would be fraudulent, brother. What the hell are you thinking about, man? That would be fraudulent, man. How that's going to be right? That can come back and bite you, man. You end up going to prison. You want to go to jail, want to get a case? That's all the people thinking about. Oh, man, I know I was desperate. See? So now you hurt yourself. You judged yourself and said, I ain't going to do it. You take a whammy. Now you got no money. Now you got no this. Now you got no that. You judged yourself. You hurt behind it. The Most High didn't have to judge you. The Most High didn't have to judge you. Because if he judged you, you can end up in a hospital. You can end up in prison. You can end up on skid. You can end up in a bad way. That's what all this means. But who is there to help you make that decision? That's why you got to lean on another brother, a righteous brother. Not just any brother that's going to agree with you or some brother that's afraid of you. He afraid to tell you the truth. Nah, man. You know, that ain't no friend right there. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. This brother going to tell you, man, what's right and what's wrong about yourself. Okay? Verse 32, but when we are judged, so now if he got to do it, he going to break the bones. He going to press sore upon you. And y'all brothers know, my older brothers that's out there, y'all know the Most High be jacking us up. Me too. The Most High put his hands on us, man. We learn what not to do based upon the afflictions that come from the Most High. That's why I'm talking to you like this. And you, I know you want to go, young blood. I see you like this, looking, look all you want to. I'm trying to save your life. We are chastened of the Most High. We get chastened of the Most High. Babies don't know nothing about the chastening of the Most High. That we should not be condemned with the world. Why does the Most High step in and use a greater force than his servants, the prophets? Because he going to give you something that you can feel. He told us, we without sin cast the first stone. So we can't cast no stone. We can only bring off the words. But since the words don't do it, the Most High said, okay, now I'm going to step in and I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them. So if you don't want that to happen unto you, then you're going to deal righteously. Don't take this communion for granted, like this is an evening snack. This ain't no evening snack. This represents the body and blood of the Messiah, the one that died for righteousness. He didn't die for in vain. He died leaving us an example that we should follow, right? All right, this is body which is broken for you. Oh, is it Most High in the name of Christ? Thank you for the food, drink, amen. Amen. This is body which is broken for you. This is blood.
That's another roast in there. That's what wine. That's the red wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought we needed some more, but I'll say that about it.
We do this communion, Israel, so that you can see that we're supposed to be doing it according to 1 Corinthians 11. If you have any issue, go back and listen to the end of it, so you can see, according to scriptures, how serious we should take it, okay? So that's it. We're going to stand and face Jerusalem and send up prayers. Stay around. What's up, man? How you doing? How's summer going?
Going pretty good. Okay, Israel.
If every man was just like me, what kind of sanctuary would this be?
Matthew 6 and 9. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory forever. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Deliverance prayer, Luke 10 and 2. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the labors are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Bless you, Most High, King of heaven and earth, and all things Most High, in the name of Christ. Send more disciples and teachers to your harvest, to gather your people Israel, and send counsel behind your laws, to stand before thy people Israel. Give to us strength to break down our lives with that word. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
The blessing of Israel, Numbers chapter 6 and 24. Children of Israel, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay, children of Israel, bless one another.
Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you all.
Okay, so everybody, y'all see the new moon is July the 13th, right? Okay.
That's why it's breaking you?
Hmm?
That's why it's breaking you?
I'm gonna send them both.
Uh-oh. Here you go, Strider. Right, all right. All praises, sister. So listen, July 13th is the new moon. So Israel, please plan accordingly. July 13th is the new moon, okay? I don't know what day it falls on, but plan accordingly, all right? That's going to be your ride up the street. I don't know. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm finna go too. All right, Israel, listen, y'all have a blessed night, okay? Anybody that's considering, Shalom, brother. Y'all brothers call me, man. Most High will call me tomorrow sometime. Okay, I want to catch up with all the extended family out there. Francisco, Yarael, Felipe, Tim, Damon. What's up, brother? Shalom. Y'all brothers, give me a call, all right? So we can touch bases, man. Y'all brothers out there, y'all plan on attending the tabernacles out here? Give me a call so we can talk about the requirements and all of that stuff, okay? You brothers are going to have to start saving to make it happen. So, don't forget.
Hey,
Don't forget to give me a call, all right? All right, all right. All right, so I'm going to get out of here because they're shutting the building down. Shalom, Most High Christ bless, all right? Peace.